and you did nothing. Let me ask you this. Do you not take this seriously at all?
I do take it serious. I'm busy. I'm a very busy person. It's kind of inconvenient for me.
This is all inconvenient. She's too busy and it's inconvenient. Really, this isn't all about you. You made the decision to drink. You made the decision to get into that car. You made the decision to drive. You made the decision to have that accident. The bond
Guys,
violation.
you have to see this.
They were sentencing
This
on
woman
the
walks
violation.
into court acting like the rules don't apply
Did
to
you
her.
get the new report?
And Judge Simpson
Yes, I did, Your
is
Honor.
done playing nice.
Is there anything you want to
We're
say
talking
before
over
I...
15 violations.
And
now
I'd like
she's
to
standing
start off.
there
Ms.
saying the
Wilson
court's
is a
conditions are too
22-year-old.
inconvenient.
She's
seriously,
very
it's
apologetic
not
to the court.
confidence. That's straight up entitlement.
For the initial violation,
Her
she
original
was
charge was
upfront
for
and
drunk
honest
driving,
about the dirty
which is
blow.
already insanely dangerous.
And she
And
admitted
instead of
when
proving she can
presented
take
to her.
responsibility,
There was a delay
she's
for the
treating
tether,
probation like a
which I
suggestion.
believe is what you're
You can literally
referencing on
watch
the
Judge
report.
Simpson's
The day
patience
of
disappear
court, she
second by
did,
second.
that was
every
April
eye roll.
17th, she did go
Every
to
excuse.
community
It's all
corrections,
adding up.
but because she had
And
her
honestly,
child with
at
her,
this point, jail might be the
community
only way to
corrections
get
do
the
not
message
allow
across.
kids within the
The way she's
facility.
acting makes
She did
this one
not
of the
have a
most
babysitter at
delusional
that time,
courtroom moments I've
and
ever seen.
she wasn't able
But what do you
to
guys think?
get the tether fitted
Should
that
Judge
day.
Simpson finally throw her in jail
On the
to wake her
18th
up?
and 19th,
Or does she
likewise,
deserve
she did
one
not
last
have a
chance to prove
babysitter.
herself?
She also does not have
Drop
a
your take
valid
in the
license
comments, smash
right
that like
now,
button, and make
so
sure
she
to
is not
subscribe
able to
because
drive herself to the
this one's just
facility.
getting started.
She
and you don't
relies
wanna
on
miss what
others to
happens
help her
next.
out with rides.
The bond violation. They were sentencing on the violation. Did you get the new report?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Is there anything you want to say before I...
Yes. But I'd like to start off. Ms. Wilson is a 22-year-old. She's very apologetic to the court. For the initial violation, she was upfront and honest about the dirty blow, and she admitted when presented to her. There was a delay for the tether, which I believe is what you're referencing on the report. The day of court, she did, that was April 17th, she did go to community corrections, but because she had her child with her, community corrections do not allow kids within the facility. She did not have a babysitter at that time, and she wasn't able to get the tether fitted that day. On the 18th and 19th, likewise, she did not have a babysitter. She also does not have a valid license right now, so she is not able to drive herself to the facility. She relies on others to help her out with rides. So that is why she wasn't able to get the tether fitted until Monday. She was going to try to go on the weekend, but since the community corrections is closed on the weekend, she wasn't able to do that. She is working full-time, works at EHM Senior Solutions in Saline. She's been there for the last 4 years. She works, she also is enrolled inside school full-time, inside the nursing program, and she's a full-time mother. She has no one to really help her with watching the kid during the day. So we'd be asked that she be allowed to continue on bond while this case is pending.
Anything from the people?
We leave it on the court's discretion.
The problem that I have, Ms. Wilson, is that on the 17th, you admitted to the violations. We set the sentencing out to today. In the interim, because there was a dirty flow, I had told you to report to community corrections to get on a scram tether immediately. That was on the 17th. It was not until Monday of this week that in the late afternoon on Monday that you put yourself onto a scram tether. I'm trying to figure out why.
Can I talk? Yeah. I worked both.
What'd you say?
I work Thursday and Friday, and yeah, I have my kid up until I go to work. And I also didn't know that my son couldn't go in there because I went over there after court. And
I understand that, but that was on Wednesday.
right. And then I worked Thursday and Friday, and they weren't open the weekend.
Did you work Monday?
No.
Then why did it take you till 3:50 on Monday to get there?
Drop my kid off to his dad, or he can come get his kid. That's why.
So she usually starts work at 3 p.m. until 11:30, and that's whenever the father of the child takes the child. Before then, she is usually watching the child.
Well, not watching.
Tell me how I know that you weren't drinking over the week. I mean, young lady,
I don't.
you're here on a drunk driving case. I put you on a sober line, right? The alleged blood alcohol content was 0.085. There was an accident. During the course of this, you're not blowing when you're supposed to, and then I have a dirty blow. I should have sent you to jail that day, and I didn't do it. And I didn't do it giving you an opportunity to maybe show during this week that you could exist with a scram tether, not drink.
I'm confused with the last part you said because I got the tether.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
5 days late. So I guess the record's clear. Between the time of the 17th to the time you got the tether, you didn't blow into a sober link either.
yeah, because the device locks. I didn't know if that was because
Because you were supposed to probably be on a scram.
Right.
And she did inform me of that. She did inform me of that yesterday when she tried to test on the sober link. On the 18th, it gave her an error that it had to be reset.
And you did nothing.
Bring my kid in there. I can't.
But you did nothing. And then, let me ask you this. Do you not take this seriously at all?
I do take it serious. I'm busy. I'm a very busy person.
Okay.
And that's not an excuse,
We all are.
but it's kind of inconvenient for me. That doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything. I've been coming to court
This is all inconvenient.
It's
The second she told Judge Simpson
so
she was
that
too
is why
busy to
she
get her
wasn't
tether
able
set
to
up,
get the
you could feel the
tether
entire
fitted until
energy in the
Monday.
courtroom shift.
She
That's
was
not just a bad
going
excuse,
to try
that's
to go on
straight
the
up
weekend,
defiance of a
but
direct
since
court order.
the community
And here's
corrections
the
is
thing.
closed on the weekend,
Court
she
is in the
wasn't able to do
suggestion
that.
box. When you tell a judge
She
you
is
couldn't be bothered to follow
full-time,
instructions,
works at
you're basically begging for consequences.
EHM Senior Solutions
I
in
get it.
Celine.
Nobody wants to wear a
She's been
tether.
there for the last 4
It's
years.
awkward,
She
it's
works.
restrictive,
She
it
also
screams,
is
"I messed up,"
enrolled inside
acting like
school
you're above the
full-time,
system.
inside the nursing
That's how you turn a simple
program,
condition into a
and she's
jail
a full-time
sentence.
mother. She has no
Judges
one to
hear
really help
excuses
her
like this
with
all
watching
day
the kid
long,
during the
and when
day.
one sounds
So we'd
this
be asked that
entitled,
she be allowed to
sympathy
continue
goes straight
on
out the
bond
window.
while this
The crazy
case is
part is,
pending.
a tether is one of the
Anything from the
lightest
people.
punishments out there.
We leave it on the court's
But now,
discretion.
by ignoring
Problem
it,
that I have,
she's making jail time sound like the
Wilson,
only
is
logical
that on the
next step.
17th you admitted to
You could
the
literally see
violation.
Judge Simpson's face
I
like,
set the
did
sentencing
she
out
really
to
just say that to me?
today.
It's brutal, but
In
also
the
kind of
interim,
fascinating to watch someone
because there
self-destruct
was
this
a dirty
confidently.
blow, I had
What do you
told
guys think?
to
Was Judge
report
Simpson
to
right to
community
consider
corrections,
locking
get
her
on
up
a
at this
scram
point?
tether immediately.
Or should he have given her
That
one
was
more
on the
shot?
17th.
Let me know in the
It was
comments.
not
Hit
until
like if you're with the
Monday
judge on this
of
one.
this
And let's
week
dive back in to
that
see how he
in the
reacts.
late afternoon. It's all inconvenient because you decided allegedly to drink, get into a car, and have an accident. That's all inconvenient. But if true, no one in this room is the cause of that inconvenience except you.
I think her youth plays an age inside this. She's only 22. This is her first criminal case.
I'm not even 22 yet. My birthday's Friday.
So she's 21. This is her first criminal case. I do think that going forward, she's going to take this very seriously. Whenever I talk to her,
but Ms. Coons, I appreciate that. But at what point? Because if you look at this report, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, let's say 20 violations of basically, well, actually, it's not quite that many. It's about 15 violations of the program itself in terms of when she was supposed to blow. Then on the next one, she drank. Then even after that, that was on April 5th. By the time we get the report, she reports back to court I have on April 6th, she didn't test during the time frame. On the 7th, she didn't do any test. On the 8th, she didn't do any test. On the 10th, she did not test between 7 and 10 as scheduled. On the 12th, she didn't test on 2 occasions for her testing that day between 7 and 10 a.m. and 2 to 5 p.m. She didn't test as scheduled. On the 13th, she didn't test between the 7 and 10 a.m. She did do a makeup test an hour and a half later. On the 13th, she didn't test between 10 and 1 a.m. as scheduled. She tested at basically 2 o'clock in the morning on the 14th. She was negative. On the 14th, she then on that day still didn't test between 7 and 10 as she was required to do. And then basically 40 minutes later, after the testing window, she tested. And then later that day on the 2 to 5 test, she didn't test as scheduled. That was on the 14th. That's just this month. And then she appears before me on the 17th. I give her a break by not remanding her and tell her that she has to get a tether. And then I get here, I'm now and set this out to the 24th. And now I get here and she's too busy and it's inconvenient. Really.
I can understand the court's frustration.
Oh, I'm not frustrated. I'm just,
Yeah.
I don't get frustrated.
Yeah. Well, she does have the tether on, so it would negate any further missed test, Your Honor. If she's able to continue on to Ben.
So I'm just supposed to say, don't follow anything I told you to do.
Absolutely.
Just go on your merry way.
No, absolutely not. But when we spoke, she did state that she'd like to continue this case. She'd like to stay out in bond. She's able and willing to comply with all further court orders.
How do I know that?
I've been coming to court all year. I haven't missed a court date.
Yeah, you're right. You haven't missed a court date. You've missed a lot of tests. You missed going to community corrections. You went there when it was convenient for you. Young lady, that's not how this works.
I mean, I didn't have a choice. I can't bring my kid in there.
I get the 17th. You needed to find a way to make an arrangement on the 18th and 19th. You didn't do it. It's all
People forget that
inconvenient because
probation
you
and bond are
decided
basically the court giving
allegedly
you
to
just enough
drink,
rope,
get into a
and what
car,
you do with
and
it
have an
decides your
accident.
future.
That's
You
all
can use it to pull yourself
inconvenient.
forward and prove you
But
deserve
it's
freedom,
true,
or you can hang
no
yourself with
one in
excuses.
this room is the
And here's the
cause
truth.
of that inconvenience.
Judges don't deal in
except
excuses.
you.
The law doesn't
I think her
recognize
youth
too
plays
busy
an
or I
age
forgot.
inside this. She's
It
only
recognizes
20. This is her
compliance.
first criminal
So,
case.
When you stand in front of a judge and say you didn't follow through,
It's Friday.
So
what they
she's
actually hear
21,
is
and
your
this is
rules
her
don't
first
matter to me.
criminal case.
that's an instant red
I do
flag.
think that going forward,
Courts
she's
run
going to take
almost
this very
entirely on
seriously.
trust.
Whenever I
I
talk
mean,
to
If they
her,
can't trust you to
Miss Toombs,
follow
I
simple
appreciate
orders,
that, but at what
how
point?
could they ever trust you to walk
Because
free in
if you look
society?
at this report,
Probation is basically a test
I
drive for real
have
life. Fail it,
one,
and you're done.
2,
And
3,
the
4,
consequences
5,
go way
6,
beyond jail
7,
time. Violations stick to your
8,
record,
9,
affect
10,
jobs,
11,
housing,
12,
even insurance.
13, 14, 15,
Judges know that,
16,
which is exactly why they
17,
sometimes make
18,
examples out of people who
19,
act
20.
arrogant. It's not just about punishment.
21,
It's about sending a message to everyone
well,
else.
let's say
Don't try this.
20
It's like a parent grounding one kid
violations
so the rest
of
don't even think about
basically,
breaking curfew.
well, actually, it's not quite that many. It's
But what do you
about
guys think? Should
15
judges use moments like this to set an
violations
example
of
for others?
the program itself
Or should every
in
case stay
terms of
focused
when
on the
she was
individual?
supposed to blow. In fact, so that we're also clear on the 19th, on the 18th, community corrections talked to you that day, and you told them that you would report to them on the 19th.
Yes, because I thought I could, but I couldn't.
That's a Friday. And you didn't report on the 19th. You didn't call to reschedule or offer to them, according to this report, any explanation for your not reporting. You just didn't show up. And then on Monday, even if I accept your rationale that you were working, and that in terms of working, you couldn't make it. Even if I accept that rationale, which I don't. Monday, you weren't working, and you still didn't go until late, actually after the agent that's assigned to your case at Community Corrections had left. And you're lucky that somebody else there stepped in and put you on a scram tether, because otherwise you'd be showing up today with no tether. And mind you, that the person that did that did it after the agent that's assigned to your case had terminated you from community correction supervision because you weren't compliant. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Lady, you're going to have to learn to just pay attention. When court tells you to do something, you're going to have to do it. This isn't all about you. Everybody has busy lives. And I can appreciate it when I see people try. What I see in this report is somebody that's not trying. That somebody is putting other priorities ahead of what your obligation to this court is and what your obligation to this case is. And again, allegedly, you made the decision to drink. You made the decision to get into that car. You made the decision to drive. You made the decision to have that accident. So, sentence of the court, defendant remanded to the Washtenaw County Jail to serve 5 days for the violations to date. Mr. Allen, you may take her.
This case is such a reminder
Then,
that court
on
isn't
the
just about the
next
drama,
one,
it's
she
about
drank.
trust.
Then,
The whole system
even
runs
after
on one
that,
simple question.
That was on
Can you
April
handle
5th.
freedom without breaking the
By the
rules?
time we get
Judges
the report,
don't like
she
sending people to
reports
jail.
back to court.
But when someone pushes
I
them into a
have
corner,
on
they'll
April
always
6th.
choose public safety over
She
second
didn't
chances.
test during the time.
And here's the
frame.
thing.
On the
Jail
7th,
isn't always just
she didn't
punishment.
do any tests.
Sometimes it's leverage, a
On the
reality
8th,
check that
she
makes
didn't
people
do
think
any
twice
tests.
before testing the system
On the
again.
10th,
But what most don't realize
she
is
did
how
not
deep the
test
ripple
between
effect
7 and
goes.
10.
One
as
violation
scheduled.
can haunt you for years, costing your
On the
license,
12th,
your job,
she didn't test.
even a place to live.
On
That's what
2
makes moments like
occasions
this
for
so
her
powerful.
testing that day between
Judge
7
Simpson
and
didn't
10
need to yell
a.m.
or slam the
and 2
gavel.
to 5
He
p.m.
just laid down
She
the
didn't
decision
test
calmly,
as scheduled.
and it hit hard.
On the 13th,
That kind of
she
quiet
didn't
authority
test
says
between
more
the
than
7
any
and 10
outburst
a.m.
ever could.
You-
It's
she
proof that the
did
law
do a
doesn't need
makeup
to shout
test
to
an
make an
hour and a
impact.
half later.
What do you guys think?
On the
Do calm, steady
13th, she
consequences
didn't
hit
test
harder?
between 10 and 1
Or do you prefer when a judge
1
really
a.m.
goes off?
as
Let me know
scheduled.
down below, and
She
don't forget to
tested
like,
at
subscribe,
basically 2
share this
o'clock in
video
the
so we
morning
can
on
keep
the
breaking down
14th.
these crazy court
She was
moments
negative.
together.